Okay, think about this for a second. We live in a world now where, well, artificial intelligence can just whip up seemingly perfect content, like instantly. So, what does that actually mean for real human creativity? And maybe more to the point for you listening, what happens to your specific, unique voice?
That's a huge question right now, isn't it? AI tools are getting so much better, so integrated into, well, all sorts of creative fields. And if you're a coach, a consultant, maybe a speaker, you rely on your expertise, sure, but also that genuine connection. So, yeah, it's a really vital thing to consider.
Exactly. That's really the heart of what we want to explore today. We're doing a deep dive into how AI is impacting your creative work. How do you, as someone who needs to, stand out, make a real impact, how do you navigate all this without losing the very thing that makes your message yours?
Because you're probably seeing all the buzz, right? Maybe you're even playing around with some of these tools, the ones that generate text or ideas. But the crucial piece is figuring out how to use that power, that leverage, without watering down that essential human part, the part that lets you connect authentically with your audience.
Yeah, and to help us kind of unpack this, we've been digging into Carma Spence's works, specifically her insights in being human in the age of AI. It really does tackle this exact challenge. How do you stay true to yourself when it feels like there's just this, I don't know, growing sea of AI content out there?
hmm So our mission for this deep dive really is to pull out the most useful stuff, the actionable strategies. How can you actually partner up with AI? Not see it as a replacement, but use it to amplify the strengths you already have, those uniquely human strengths.
Okay, let's get into it then. Right off the bat, you see this big conflict, this tension. It's the incredible convenience AI offers versus the need, the absolute necessity of being authentic.
Absolutely. We've seen this, well, explosion of AI in creative spaces. Things like ChatGPT for writing, Midjourney for visuals, and they offer this really tempting efficiency, don't they? You can generate stuff, get initial drafts done incredibly fast.
And it's not just a feeling, is it? Karma actually points to this statistic that really jumped out at me. 73% of people believe generative AI can actually lead to more creativity at work, which sounds amazing on the surface.
It does. It really does. But here's where you have to pause and think about the potential trade-offs. When AI can sort of mimic your style, your tone, even the basic structure of your work, what's the hidden cost? What gets lost when a machine tries to replicate something that's, well, fundamentally human?
It boils down to those things AI just can't have, right? Your unique experiences, those specific insights you've gained, the stories from your own life, your own work.
Exactly. AI processes information, it can rephrase, it can summarize, but it hasn't lived your journey.
And maybe that's precisely why, in a world where AI can churn out pretty polished stuff on demand, that true originality, that genuine human voice, it becomes even more valuable.
Right. If everyone has access to similar tools, what makes your message stand out? What makes it resonate? It has to be that human element.
Okay, so how do we even start defining what authentic creativity looks like now in this, AI age? It feels like the definition itself is shifting a bit.
Yeah, and Karma makes a really important point here. She suggests authentic creativity isn't really about perfection. It's not about flawless output. Sometimes it's actually a bit messy. At its core, she says, it's about presence, your genuine engagement with what you're creating, and crucially, with your audience.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not just like grammatically perfect sentences, it's the intention behind them, the emotion you convey, the connection you're trying to build.
Precisely. I mean, think about the difference between reading some perfectly worded corporate statement versus, say, listening to a friend share something really personal, maybe a bit vulnerable. One might be technically perfect, sure, but the other one, that carries the weight of real human feeling, shared experience.
And that experience, she really emphasizes this, includes being willing to be a bit vulnerable sometimes, showing you're not perfect, and having the guts to maybe question the usual way of thinking, offer a different perspective. And like we said, sharing those stories that actually mean something to you.
Which, might make you, the listener, pause a bit. You might think, hang on, do I really want to share something that personal? Is that, professional?
Hmm?
And Karma addresses that head on. She argues that often those stories that feel a little raw, maybe a bit unprofessional, they're the very things that build the strongest bonds. They make your message unforgettable.
Okay, so we see the tension. We get what authentic creativity is about. How do we actually work with AI then? It can't just be the enemy, can it?
Oh, not at all. The key perspective shift is seeing AI as a tool. A powerful one, yes, but still a tool. It's about creating a strategic partnership. You harness what AI can do without sacrificing your own voice. It's not replacement, it's amplification, but only if you learn how to use it right.
Right. And Karma lays out three really clear ways this human AI partnership can work well. First up is research efficiency.
Yeah, this is compelling. AI can be like this incredibly fast research assistant. Tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they can sift through tons of information, help you brainstorm ideas, even bang out a first draft. And let's face it, that first draft can often be the hardest part.
Totally. Imagine the hours you could save just gathering info or getting some basic structure down. But okay, the critical step, the bit that makes it yours, that comes next, right?
Exactly. That's non-negotiable. You have to layer in your own insights. Those personal experiences only you have. Those stories only you can tell. And crucially, always add your analysis. Don't just regurgitate what the AI found. Ask yourself, okay, what does this data actually mean for my audience? How do I interpret this through my unique lens?
Okay, makes sense. The second area she mentions is content enhancement. So polishing things up with tools like, say, Grammarly or Hemingway.
Yeah, and these tools are great. They catch errors, improve clarity, make things more concise, definitely useful. But, and this is a big, but you have to be careful not to let them strip away your personality, that warmth, that style that's uniquely yours, your natural voice.
Right. It's like taking maybe a slightly bland sentence the AI gave you and injecting your own life into it, your own words, your stories, those little insights that make people actually want to listen or read.
And the third way to collaborate, using AI for creative inspiration. Think of it like a brainstorming buddy that never gets tired.
Huh, okay, so you could use it for prompts. Or maybe exploring different angles on a topic, finding like unexpected metaphors.
Exactly. Generate ideas, comparisons, analogies. But the crucial step, again, is grounding those sparks in your reality, your personal experiences, your deep well of stories.
So it might give you an idea, but you make it real with your own stuff.
Precisely. Sometimes AI can even act like a memory trigger, prompting stories or insights you'd kind of forgotten about. It can help you look at your own experiences in a new light.
Okay, this all naturally leads to a really important point. Why does staying authentic actually matter so much, especially now with all this AI content?
Well, what's really interesting is the link Karma draws between authenticity and trust. She points out there are studies showing people really, really value authenticity when they're deciding who to trust, which brands or people to support.
And that hits home for you, the listener, right? Your audience, whether they're reading your book, coming to your workshop, hiring you, they're probably looking for you. Your unique take, your wisdom, your truth. They're not just after perfectly polished words that could have come from anywhere.
Exactly. Your authority, your credibility, it's built on that trust. And if people sense you're not being genuine, or maybe even being deceptive by passing off AI work as purely yours, well, that trust can shatter pretty quickly.
And for those of you thinking about writing a book, coaches, consultants, speakers, this is just critical. Your book isn't just, a product. It's an extension of you. It's meant to attract clients, build your legacy. It absolutely has to sound like you, feel like you, contain your insights, your stories.
A book that sounds generic, like anyone could have written it, or like AI wrote most of it, it just won't have that impact. It won't build that connection.
So how do you make sure your message, especially in something lasting like a book, stays distinctly yours in this world? Karma points to one really powerful key.
Storytelling.
Yes. It feels like the ultimate human advantage, doesn't it? AI can process data, present facts, but it can't replicate the power of a real, felt human story told well.
She breaks down 3 key ways to leverage this. First, share your journey, your struggles, the challenges, the turning points, the lessons learned, that kind of before, during, and after story. It's incredibly powerful because it lets your audience see what's possible for them too.
It creates relatability, doesn't it? They think, okay, they went through something similar and they figured it out. Maybe I can too. It shows you understand because you've been there.
Exactly. Second, weave in those personal transformation stories or maybe moments where your expertise really clicked for someone. These make your message less abstract, more tangible. They build belief in you, sure, but also belief in the reader's own potential for change. Seeing themselves in your story helps them believe in their own growth.
And the third way is using things like real-world case studies, client successes. Those practical insights that come directly from your experience. The stuff AI just can't make up because it hasn't done the work.
These offer concrete proof, evidence of what you can do, the impact you have. And Karma gives some great examples of authors who nailed this authentic storytelling.
Yeah, she mentions Brene Brown daring greatly. How her openness about her own stuff, her vulnerability, that's what made her message land so hard. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about being real.
Right. And then there's Felicia Day. You're never weird on the internet, almost. She just embraced her geekiness, her unique identity. It wasn't some polished manual. It was her authentic voice, unfiltered, and that resonated with so many people, gave them permission to be themselves, too.
And Frank McCourt's Angela's Ashes, wow, just incredibly raw, honest memoir. Not famous because it was perfectly written, maybe, but because of that sheer vulnerability, that truthfulness, turning pain into something universal.
And the takeaway there, bringing it back to you listening, is that these people connected deeply, not because they were flawless, but precisely because they were willing to be human, to be real.
Okay. So we get why authenticity and storytelling are the power plays here. Now let's get practical. What are some actual steps you can take right now to write more authentically, even with AI around?
Right, Karma offers several really actionable things. First one, get crystal clear on your core message. What's that one central idea that filter through your lens, your experience, only you can really share in quite that way?
And she has this useful tool, the one sentence rule. Basically, if you can't boil down your book's main point or your core message into one clear sentence, maybe it's not focused enough. Her example was something like, this book helps overwhelmed entrepreneurs master time management without burning out. Simple. Clear.
Yeah, that clarity is foundational. Second step, actively embrace your stories. Find those personal experiences that make your points real, relatable. And she suggests that before, during, after structure, again, it's a simple way to frame them.
Right. So what was life like before? What happened during? What was the result after? I used to feel totally stuck with self-doubt until I found this simple daily habit that changed everything for my confidence. That little glimpse tells you so much more than just saying, be more confident.
Absolutely. Third practical strategy, we've touched on this, but it's key. Use AI as a tool for support, not a substitute for your own brain and voice. Use it for the grunt work initial research, brainstorming so you free up your energy for the important part, crafting your authentic message.
And she even shared that cool prompt idea. List 10 unexpected metaphors for your topic. Remember the ones for writer's block, like a lighthouse with a burned out bulb.
Yeah, or a flickering neon sign in daylight. It's just a neat way to jolt yourself out of cliche and find fresh language. Definitely worth trying that out, listener.
For sure. Okay, fourth strategy.
Write with connection in mind. Consciously use direct language. You, your, imagine if. Make it feel like a conversation. When someone reads your stuff or listens to you, they should feel like you're talking directly to them.
Creating that one-on-one feeling, even in writing, yeah, that direct address really pulls people in, doesn't it?
It does. And the final step, maybe the most important, commit to authenticity above all else. Trust your gut. If something you've written, even if AI helped draft it, doesn't feel right,
Yeah.
doesn't feel you, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Ask yourself that critical question. Is this really me? Or am I just trying to sound like someone else?
That's such a powerful reminder. It takes courage sometimes to stick to your own voice, even if it feels less polished or, less optimized than what an AI might suggest.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's circle back to that opening question. In this age of AI, what's your work going to be? Your message, your book? Is it just going to be another automated asset floating around?
Or is it going to be something more, something that genuinely reflects your unique spark, your experiences, your wisdom?
Your content, especially something like a book, it's more than just information. As Karma really emphasizes, it's like a mirror. It reflects your journey, your insights, your vision, and that's something no AI, no matter how smart, can truly replicate.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. What kind of reflection do you want to create? What message, filled with your true voice and your unique stories, do you really want to put out into the world?
If you're feeling ready to navigate this, to use AI smartly, while really protecting and amplifying that authentic voice, we definitely encourage you to explore more. Dig deeper into clarifying your own core message and truly embracing the power that's already within your own stories.